you've got to be sure you want to do it.
Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel once again. It's been a hot minute since we've done a video like this, us two sat down in front of the camera, but we are back. And this video is top tips and things to know about doing the INCA Trail to Machu Picchu.
Okay, so the first thing to know is that you can rent things from your tour guides. So we went with G Adventures and you could rent things like sleeping bags, because who would want to be taking a sleeping bag in their suitcase? Not us, probably not you, so it's a good thing that you can rent. A mattress. Now we were cheapskates and we got the free mattress that comes with it. That was about this thin. And guys, we would recommend paying to get the mattress that is a bit thicker because it was very, very uncomfortable. And walking poles. So we didn't rent them and I didn't feel like we needed them either. Maybe if you're a bit older or don't walk often, then maybe think about renting them. I found them quite useful going downhill. I think most people found them not that useful going up, but downhill people did find them quite useful.
Completely agree with the mattress. Make sure you get one of them because my back was in pain and sometimes there was like rocks that we could feel through the thin mattresses, so you have to, yeah, it's just not worth it. Pay a bit of cash and get a comfy night's sleep. The food on the INCA Trail is fantastic. We love the food and obviously it's going to vary from each tour operator. Ours was G Adventures, as Gabby's already said, and their chefs are just amazing. They cooked all kinds of lovely Peruvian dishes. We loved it.
Okay, this one is important. Poo as much as you can before you go because the toilets on the trail are grim. So we both made sure that we went the night before, and I think we tried to go the morning of, just so we had to do the least amount actually when we were there.
Yeah, the toilets are pretty grim. No toilet seats on a lot of them. Some of them, when you get to a certain point, are all squat toilets. So hopefully you've got strong legs, otherwise you're going to struggle there. No toilet paper in a lot of the toilets. And some of them don't flush properly. They don't have locks on the doors. It's not a good experience going to the toilet on the INCA Trail, unfortunately. Also, make sure you bring toilet paper and wet wipes.
Phone signal is not a thing when you're on the INCA Trail, really. So from halfway through day 1, you don't get any in day 2, you get a little bit in day 3, and then when you're back at Aguas Calientes after Machu Picchu, you do have signal. But you are going to be in nature, away from all social contact. So just be aware of that. Say your goodbyes to people, let them know that you're not going to be contactable before you set off on the INCA Trail. And yeah, just enjoy being in nature and just at one with your surroundings and the people that you're with.
There's not much opportunity for having showers on the INCA Trail. There is at the end of day 2 some showers, but they are cold, so a lot of people don't bother. They're not as hardcore as I am because I actually had a shower. So make sure you take wet wipes with you. They're an easy way to get a little wash every night or every morning whenever you want to do like a little wipe down and keep you a little bit more hygienic than you would be without them.
Because by end of day 4, you all do smell. We did smell, didn't we?
It's a smelly time.
Day 2 was probably one of the hardest things that I have ever done. Be prepared for day 2. You guys will tell you about it, but it was tough. You are basically, the first half of day 2, you are going all uphill, there's steps, but the hardest thing is because you are at an altitude of about 4,100 above sea level, which I've never been at before, so I was gasping for air. Every step was like I took about 10,000 steps in like the space of 20 seconds. It was so hard. A tip for that is these smelling salts that our guides gave us, which basically open your airways. You put it on your hands, rub it together and you sniff, and it's literally like allowing you to take in more breaths, and that really helps. And also you've got your coca leaves and altitude sickness tablets. But yeah, day 2, amazing, but so difficult.
It's very high altitude at the peak of the Machu Picchu INCA Trail, so you'll need to acclimatise somewhat to the altitude in Cusco before you even start the INCA Trail. So it's important to get there a day before at least to allow your body to start to acclimatise. And then when you reach the peak, it's likely you're going to feel some side effects anyway, maybe feeling a bit tired, maybe your head's banging. That's what it was like for Gabby, and my head was banging a little bit. Gabby was sick at the end of day 2. So make sure you take some medication with you in case you have the same sort of issues.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain it. Like day 2, I think most people felt the most ill. I just felt really weird, like my body just felt really strange, and other people felt the same way. So yeah, just be aware, day 2 you're probably going to feel a bit ill, but it's nothing to be worried about.
With that in mind, however, the complete Inca Trail is suitable for people of all ages. Maybe not if you're really old, but most ages if you're healthy. We had a few people in our group in their 60s doing it, and yeah, it seemed tough for some of them, but they managed it. Everyone that we saw got through it, so you can do it. It'll take a bit of determination, a bit of grit, but it is definitely worth it, and we recommend it to all that can do it.
Mornings are very cold on the Inca Trail, but then because you start walking, you get warm very quickly, and then by about 10 a.m. it's very, very warm. So make sure you're wearing clothes that you can easily strip off. So if you've got a fleece on, make sure you've got like a lightweight t-shirt on, so that when it gets warm you can easily take it off and pop it in your bag.
I was quite jealous of the people that had those like little zip on and zip off like walking trouser things. Even though like they might not be the coolest looking thing, I was pretty jealous. So maybe get some of those.
So with G Adventures, we had a group of 16, including us, people of all ages, like Ethan said, people from the UK and people from America, people from Canada, people from Denmark, people from Trinidad and Tobago. You meet people from all over the world, and they were all amazing. We all became so close because you're literally spending all your time together, motivating each other, getting to know each other, because obviously you've not got your phone, so you are talking to each other. And we literally made friends for life there. They were amazing people. We all got on so well. We had the best group, like G Adventures. Honestly, amazing.
The porters and the chefs and the people that help you out along the trail will expect tips, and rightly so. They do an amazing job. Really tough job. Some of those are even older than a lot of the hikers. Like, I think the oldest was 69. So these guys are incredibly strong, do incredibly hard work. They definitely deserve your tips. G Adventures had like a tipping guide to give you an idea of how much to tip each person, and most companies I think will have a similar kind of guide. I encourage you to follow that, bring a bit of money so that you can tip them, because they, like I've said, they definitely deserve it.
We had amazing weather when we were on the Inca Trail, but on day 3 in the cloud forest, because you are in the clouds at that point, we did get a bit of rain for the morning, so it was really good to have a poncho. And the ponchos are really good because you could have them covering your backpacks and covering your head and most of your clothes, so you didn't get as damp. But in the market, Ethan ended up getting quite a small one. We thought they were one size fits all. So buy a poncho and just make sure that you're getting the right size as well, because his didn't cover most of his bottom half, so he got a bit damp.
Also, make sure you've got your passport with you. Forget that, you're not going to be able to get into Machu Picchu, and I think at part of the Inca Trail you'll struggle to get past as well. So yeah, make sure you've got your passport. You'll get told that by your guides as well.
Another really cool thing on the Inca Trail is that people actually live on the Inca Trail, and it is in the wilderness. Like, there's nothing really around, but you will see houses there, there's schools there that you'll walk past. It's crazy. So you'll see that on day 1.
Also, at the start of the Inca Trail on day 1 and halfway through day 2, there's vendors, local vendors that are selling like ice creams, chocolate bars, little snacks. But after the midpoint on day 2, you're not going to get any more of those. So make sure you buy whatever you need before then, get any drinks that you want to stock up on.
So this leads me on nicely to taking snacks. So you will get amazing meals cut by G Adventures, and on the day 1 they give you a bag of snacks, but that you will find that you will eat through them quite quickly. So for day 3 and day 4, maybe even day 2, you might want a snack whilst you walk in, because you don't get any more snacks. So yeah, bring a few snacks with you.
I definitely appreciated taking some snacks. I took like little snack bars that were really easy to eat, but make sure you don't leave any litter anywhere. It's very clean up there. We like to keep it that way. The best months to do the Inca Trail are May, June and July. That's when there's the least rainfall. It's also important though to bear in mind that it can be cloudy throughout the year, even when you get up to the Sun Gate and you see those iconic shots of people looking at Machu Picchu. Sometimes it's a bit too cloudy to get that great picture, which is disappointing, but we were lucky to have amazing weather when we were there.
Literally amazing.
The sun was beaming down, we were getting a bit sunburned, and it was
Bitten by mosquitoes.
It was just great, it was fantastic.
That actually brings me on to another point. Machu Picchu, loads of mosquitoes. I got bitten 8 times because I was wearing shorts. So either put lots of mosquito cream on or don't wear shorts. Another good thing to know is that you can walk at your own pace. So if you are a bit older, don't be put off, because the guides are really helpful. So we had one guide who would go at the front, and people who were walking quite quicker would go along with that guide, and then the older people who were a bit slower, the guide at the back would stay with them and allow them to walk at their own pace. And then some mornings, the older members of our group would set off a bit earlier as well with a guide, so that they weren't lagging behind as much and that we weren't as far apart from each other, because we were all one group and wanted to be together and supporting each other. So the guides will really help you get to Machu Picchu.
Once you start the Inca Trail, that is basically it. You're locked in, you've got to keep going. If something does happen, a guide can take you back down, but I mean, that's a last resort. They'll have to piggyback you down, or I think they can get horses and donkeys or whatever, depending on what point of the trail you're on. So make sure you're really up for it when you're about to start it.
You've got to be sure you want to do it. If you are healthy, you will be fine. So before you start the Inca Trail, you have a meeting at about 4:30 p.m. at the tour guide's offices. They'll go through the itinerary with you for the Inca Trail, and you'll be able to pick what you want to rent as well. So make sure you're in Cusco for that meeting, because you can't do the trail without attending the meeting. So when we were planning for our trip, we were kind of a bit confused about the backpack situation. So basically, bring a backpack for the actual Inca Trail, so you'll have things in there like a jacket for if it rains, your poncho, any snacks, water, things that you actually need for when you're walking. And then your duffel bag, which you get given by your tour guide, is what the porters carry for you up to camp each day. So in that, they'll carry your mattress, your sleeping bag, and then anything that you don't need for the walk but you do need when you get to base camp, so like your other clothes, your toiletries and things like that.
Also, we were wondering about this before we went, but each day you're provided with fresh, clean water by the porters, so you can fill up your water bottle every day.
And just so you can plan your flight back or travel or activities, on the last day, day 4, you'll arrive back at Cusco at about 7:30, well, we did for our trip with G-Adventures.
You will have an amazing experience on the Inca Trail. Make sure you take lots of pictures, do a bit of hiking beforehand to prepare, and just enjoy yourself. It is an incredible experience. You will not regret it.
Honestly, we had the best time, like immersing ourselves in the culture and the history of the Incas, meeting new people, pushing our boundaries. Honestly, it was the best time, and we really hope you found these tips really useful, and stay tuned for other videos as well that we've got coming out that will help you know what you should pack as well for the Inca Trail.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you comment and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.